favorite index fund is FSMAX, Fidelity's Extended Market Index Fund. So FSMAX tracks the Dow Jones US Completion Total Stock Market Index, which represents the performance of mid to small capitalization US companies. So it invests in all the US publicly traded companies that aren't part of the S&P 500. Historically, mid and small cap companies are overall just more volatile than the largest companies. So when the market goes down, they fall harder and farther down. And when the market goes up, they can outperform the large caps because they have more growth potential. All right, let's take a look at the fund. The total fund holdings are 3,464, and here are the top 10 with the most weight. So when judging how concentrated or diversified a fund is, you want to look at what percentage of the top 10 make up the entire fund's holdings. So less than 10% is very diversified. You'll see with these other funds that some can be much more concentrated at the top. By the sixth company, you're already under 1%. And then this has to keep decreasing gradually for another 3,400 companies. Here's the breakdown by sector. We have industrials, information technology, and financials as the top three. And no one sector is way above any others. We have a very low expense ratio at 0.035%. or 35 cents a year for every 1,000 invested. Okay, so here's a breakdown of FSMAX compared to the S&P 500, because this is considered the standard that most investors are trying to outperform. For this comparison, I tried to find an extended market fund that has the closest inception date to an S&P 500 fund. That way it would be a close comparison. So I've used different funds from different brokerages, but they all track the same index. So over the past 25 years, the S&P has done better as a whole, but you can see these points where the market was growing that the small and mid caps did better, like the best 3-year stretch. But like I said, this fund is generally more volatile. You can see for its worst 3-year stretch, it pretty much stayed flat, while the S&P still grew 7.5%. Same thing for the most recent bull and bear markets. It goes up higher and falls down lower. And as a whole, since 2000, it's returned 8.5%, about a 1.5 lower than the market since 97. So the way I incorporate FSMAX into my portfolio is for retirement accounts I don't plan on using for another 40 years. I put 10% into this fund to diversify into the entire US market, try to capture some of that substantial growth that has happened in the bull markets. For other taxable accounts that in some situations I tap into, I don't invest anything into this fund because of how volatile the mid and small caps are and how long they can take to recover.